All right, hello everyone. It's officially our starting time. My name is Tina. I'm one of Brittany's coaches, and today we'll be tapping on body boundaries. Let me see what's here. Okay, some message popped up, but no. When there's a message popping up that local recording is disabled, this means you can't record on your own hard drive. The meeting is recorded on our hard drive in our cloud, and it will be uploaded to your membership area. There is the My Tapping Circle area, and there you find all the old recordings. You have a whole archive of old calls, and this one will be added. And I'm checking recording is in progress, so you're all good ladies, but thank you for letting me know. I know that's a little bit confusing with a local recording versus the cloud recording. You will have this call to rewatch, and also for everybody else who is not here live with us, I'll welcome you at whatever later point in time you are watching. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you've been here before, you probably know this. I like to ask you to keep your microphone muted while we are doing the tapping so that we don't have so much background noise. However, if I'm checking in with you and you have a question, then please raise your hand. And the best way is to use the virtual hand from Zoom. On the computer, this is at the bottom bar, pretty much in the middle. There's a raise hand button. If you don't find the raise hand button and you're willing to keep your camera on, you can also take your physical hand and wave at me. And if neither of those works for you and you have something important to say or ask, you can also unmute yourself and say, hey, I have a question. Can I please speak? I would like to ask you to keep the questions to the periods in between tapping when I check in with you, if it's important. And if it's a general question, write it down and ask it in the end so that we don't interrupt the flow of the tapping. As always, I'm here for you. This is your tapping. I will suggest words for parts of it for you to repeat. If what I'm saying isn't quite fitting what you're experiencing, please change the words. If you want to change single words, if you would say it a different way, you can. If you're experiencing something totally different, use your own words. Your own words are way more powerful than whatever I can suggest, so make it your own. I'm not mad at you. I'm basically just giving suggestions here and taking you by the hand. Okay, I think that was it. We talked about recording is in progress and keep yourself muted. That is it. Yeah, our topic for today is body boundary violations. What does that mean? Well, body boundary violations is one of our big weight loss blockers. Because what does it mean when our body boundary has been crossed? It basically meant that someone made us feel unsafe in our own body. This can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. So this could be you being bullied. This could be someone making comments about your weight. This could be someone staring at you. This could be catcalling and all the way up to sexual violence. So it's basically the whole package. And today my tapping is geared more towards the sexual violence part, but it will work for any other event where someone else made you feel unsafe in your body. So for example, if you've been hit by your parents as a kid, that would be also a good one to work on here. Another thing that falls into the big umbrella of the body boundary violations is medical trauma, meaning if you have been in the hospital, for example, and you had surgery where you basically were not in charge of your own body, where maybe you've been held down so that a medical procedure could have been performed, or maybe doctors have handled you in a way that felt like not safe to be in your body. This is also stuff that we can work with here. However, if you have anything sexual going on, that would be what I suggest you work on. And of course, in the beginning, I always explain a little bit like I'm doing now. If you feel like, oh, I'm already getting triggered, stuff is coming up, you're welcome to start tapping at any point, even when I'm in the explanation mode. So for the body boundary violations, especially the sexual trauma, we want to basically break it down into smaller chunks. That is usually something that is not dealt with in one single session. So we have to go back and look at different aspects. It's kind of like taking out different pieces of the puzzle and dealing with them separately. But that also makes it more manageable because we don't have to deal with a whole big scary package all at once. And so what we usually do is we look at before the event happened and basically rewrite the story so that you can take your power back. And this is what we're going to do today. Then there will be other tappings where we deal with what happened after the event, how you feel about the whole thing, how you feel about people who may or may not have helped you, all that kind of stuff. But today we basically focus on everything leading up to the event. We usually don't need to tap on what exactly happened at the event right in the moment. We usually can deal with it leading up to and afterwards. However, if it happens to you that the exact moment pops up at some point, for example, if you're doing a push the food away, you can work through this exactly the same way we are doing here, in combination with the tell the story technique, which is basically you tapping as you talk out in all details what happened while you feel what you felt at that point in time. And yeah, any questions up to this point about what we're dealing with? Good things to have handy is some water, tea, whatever your favorite beverage is to hydrate. Your favorite anger toy if you need a lot of some steam. So a pillow would be good, a rolled up blanket would be good. If you don't have any of that, you can use the edge of your shirt and kind of bunch it up and squeeze it. I sometimes use like a little squishy ball if I want to beat someone up. So get that ready. It's also useful to have like a little notebook or something to take notes if other things pop up that we might not have time to clear all today. You can take notes if there's a big aha moment, like, oh, some big realization, something big you cleared, you can take notes here. So, all right. And I know that the body boundaries, especially the sexual stuff, is already making us a little bit nervous just talking about it. So I'm going to start with a little tapping exercise to get us back in the here and now, just after talking so much. So just start the carotid, tapping the carotid chop for a moment. And take a breath and just notice if there's any discomfort, any nervousness, any anxiety bouncing around in your body somewhere. And you can stay on the carotid chop or you can switch over to tapping through the points. And I'll invite you to take a deeper breath and then exhale through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. So it's like a slow, long exhale. As you keep tapping. And then if that feels good, I'll invite you to do that another 2 or 3 times. And if that doesn't feel good and you feel like the breath is amping up your anxiety, you don't have to do it. Everything I suggest is only that, a suggestion. You're in charge of your body. You know better what works for you and what doesn't than I ever can, just watching you on a screen. And if you want, one more time, inhale and blow out the candle. Good. And then can you feel your feet? Find your feet and maybe wiggle your toes. And feel what your feet are in contact with. Are your feet firmly planted on the floor? Or are you maybe sitting cross-legged like I am? So for me, it's like the side of my feet on my sofa. What are your feet in contact with? Are you wearing socks? Are you barefoot? If you're wearing socks, can you feel the fabric? What about the temperature of your feet? Are they warm? Are they cold? And then see if you can feel what else your body is in contact with. You're probably sitting on a chair or a sofa. Can you feel your butt on your chair, maybe the back of your legs? Can you feel how the chair is holding you up? Are you leaning against the backrest? Can you basically feel the imprint your body is making on the surface that's holding you up? Can you feel the temperature of the air around you? Is it warm? Is it cool? Can you feel the temperature of the air passing your nostrils as you inhale? And then it's probably a little warmer as you exhale. Can you feel your clothing touching your skin? Maybe just a little piece, maybe just your sleeve on your arm or on your shoulder. One more time, bring your attention to your feet. Feel what your feet are in contact with. Wiggle your toes one more time. Okay, good. And then pause the tapping and shake it out. And then notice how you feel, ladies. If you check in, we didn't give the anxiety or nervousness we had a number beforehand, but if you compare how you feel, better, worse, same? All right. Good. So this is a little technique focusing on your body, where you're in contact with the ground, feeling the air, feeling the clothing on your skin, basically paying attention to what's happening to your body here and now. This is a little thing you can always do at any point in time during the class if you feel your emotions are getting a little too hot too quickly. This brings you back into your body in the present moment, and it takes you out of the memory. And the very first thing, of course, is you have your choice if you want your eyes open or closed. For me, I prefer tapping with my eyes closed because then I can access the memory better and I can better dive into whatever is going into my body. If I keep my eyes open, that's too much distractions for me a lot of the times. However, when you close your eyes, things are more intense on the emotional level. So if you feel like, oh, it's getting too much, the first thing you can do is open your eyes and also look around your room as you keep tapping. And we can just all do that right now, tap through the points and look around your room. And you can see if you find something that's your favorite color. And then see how the light falls on it. Can you see light and shade? And what's the texture? Is it like shiny or matte? Is it a solid color, or is there a pattern or some color gradient on it? And then let your eyes wander one more time, find another object, look at it, the shape, the color, the texture, the light. Good. Okay, let's take a break, shake it out. That's another way where you can bring yourself back into the present moment out of the memory. All right. So then, ladies, are you ready to go to dive into your event? So find an event, or let your body find an event where you didn't feel safe in your own body. Could be sexual, could be anything else, where someone else made you feel unsafe. And start tapping the karate chop as you're finding your event. And if you don't have anything that comes to mind, you can go with any other event that made you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form. And first, as your adult self, you can imagine bringing in any sort of protection that you need. If you want to call your guardian angels, your spirit guides, if you want to take a big magic sword, if you want a protective suit around your body, you can bring that in. Get anything that'll help to keep you safe. And then start thinking about the event you want to work on. And start tapping through the points if you're still on the karate chop point. And I want you to go back in time to the time point right before whatever happened. So we're kind of winding back a little bit. And see that scene in your mind's eye. Or however you remember it. Maybe it's not visual, maybe it's sounds, maybe it's smells, maybe it's temperature feelings. And if you don't have an image, a scene yet, simply tune into the feeling in your body. And this is a good one for everyone, even if you have an event already. Notice how your body feels. Where do you feel the discomfort? How does it feel? How would you describe it to a 6-year-old? For example, is it like a brick lying in my stomach? Or is someone twisting your throat? Or does it feel like your little toe is on fire? Just notice the feeling in your body. And then start thinking about that scene right before something happened. And you can start thinking about it like a picture, a still photograph. And can you see your younger self there? We want to help our younger self. So as adult you, can you walk up to your younger self? And if there's anybody else already in the scene, freeze them. They can't talk, they can't move. Your job is it to approach your younger self. Can you get closer to her? Walk up to her slowly as you need and notice if there's any resistance, if there's something holding you back. That's usually your subconscious mind being scared a little bit. So if you feel resistance, could be like a dog digging all 4 paws in, like being dragged on leash, or could feel like you're walking through molasses, or as if there's like something in between you and younger self. Just notice that. Notice the quality, the color, the texture of whatever is holding you back. And can you feel your younger self's energy, her feelings? And if this is difficult, just keep tapping and breathing and feeling your body. That is the most important part. More important than any words you might say. Words can help us focus, but the important part is feeling what's going on in your body as you tap. And can you take another step towards your younger self? And when you get close, are you able to step inside of her body? And if you need to shrink yourself to do that or apply some magic, that's perfectly fine. And also notice here if that feels difficult or impossible. If that's the case, just keep tapping and feeling it as you're attempting it. Good. Yeah, and if you have multiple memories that popped up, go with the one that feels the most intense or the earliest one. Those are usually the ones that give you the biggest bang for your buck. Okay. And then can you step inside of your younger self's body, giving her your voice, your wisdom, and your strength that you have now as adult you. And if that is difficult, just keep tapping and breathing and feeling. And if you can't get inside of your younger self's body at all, that's no big deal. Then you just stay by her side as your adult self. So whether you're inside of your younger self's body or not, just tune in. What emotion are you feeling? Maybe there's this feeling of doom and gloom and something is about to happen. Where do you feel it in your body? Is there an emotion associated with it? Can you rate that emotion and or that feeling on a scale from 0 to 10? How intense is it? And you're very welcome to share your numbers in the chat if you want to. Keep tapping through the points as you envision the scene. And then see your offender approach. And you can stop him at a distance that feels somewhat safe. Incidents are very recent, there's no little me. That is okay too. If whatever happened to you as an adult, go back to that time. And even if it happened yesterday, go to that time. Feeling dread, yeah. Okay. Now, can you give your younger self your adult voice? Freeze your offender in a place where you can see him, her, them, and they can't move, they can't come closer, and they can't talk. If you need to secure them in any way, shape, or form, you can chain them to the refrigerator, you can put them in handcuffs, you can put them in a jail cell, you can put them behind plexiglass, you can put them far, far away. Do that. And then can you push out the hand if you're just tapping with one hand and like make a stop gesture and say, no, stop. No. Don't come closer. Back off. I don't allow this. I don't want you near me. I mean it. I'm saying no. No means no. Just fuck off and leave. Leave me alone. You don't have my permission. You have no right to touch me, to look at me, to hit me, whatever it is, insert what happened to you. Don't even look at me. I'm saying no. Back off. Get away from me. Get lost. Or I'll kick your ass. Good. Just keep tapping and notice your breath for a moment without changing it. Can you notice how fast or slowly you're breathing? Can you feel if you're breathing more into your chest or your belly? Good. Can you bring your attention to your feet? How they're touching the ground or whatever they are in contact with. Maybe wiggle your toes one more time. Can you feel your butt on the chair, the back of your legs, maybe your back leaning against the backrest? Good. All right. Take a break. Pause the tapping. Let's shake it out. And maybe you need to shake your legs as well. If you need to get up, stretch your legs, walk around your chair 3 times, do what you gotta do. Some stretching shoulder rolls is good. Check if you need to hydrate. That's important for tapping too. Cheers, ladies. And then, yeah, whenever you kind of shook the energy off a little bit, look around your room, check back in, okay, where am I? Maybe it's your living room, your kitchen. All right, it's like June 2025, here I am. All right, good. Yep. We got tightness in the chest. Yeah. Feeling dread. Yeah. Crying. Yeah, if tears come up, let them flow. It's good to get them out. As we are tapping, crying and tapping is a whole technique in its own. Sometimes I just sit and cry and tap, and usually that gets pretty intense, but it's pretty short. Most of the time, I'm done after 5 minutes, and then it's like this feeling afterwards. Okay, it evolved into anger. Yeah, good. That's basically where we want to go. Because what we're doing here is processing the event, because it's stuck in our heads and keeps coming up as we get triggered, because we were totally helpless and powerless in that situation, right? We couldn't defend ourselves. There was no way. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I should have done something. I should have kicked his nuts. I should have run away. But often it is such that we freeze and we can't even move. And sometimes it is as if we are kind of getting out of our body and like we are looking from behind or down on us as if we're not even in our body. And that is basically a protection mechanism. And yeah, you can keep tapping as I'm talking. Let's all do that. That is a protection mechanism from your nervous system, which basically stems from the wild animals. And you imagine like a gazelle being chased by a lion when they can't run away or can't fight back and they're helpless, then our body kind of shuts down and takes our attention out of the body, because for the gazelle it's not nice to be fully aware as she's basically eaten alive. So our body's trying to protect us, even though it might feel like it's actually hindering you. But if you think about it, it basically did, your body did what it was meant to do by biology, and it probably kept you safe. Because in that situation, if you would have tried to fight back, it might have made everything worse. Who knows? The important part is we survived, and you're here now, and we are working on this. All right, tune back into your scene. Yeah, working on a parent is really tough. Can't say the words to your mom. Absolutely, that's a difficult one. In that case, if you feel like it's impossible to say those words out loud to your abuser, can you see if it makes a difference when you're not speaking as your younger self, but at your adult self now? That usually makes it a little bit less scary. If that is not an option, what can we do to make your abuser, your parent, even less scary? How about you just talk to a picture of them? How about you talk to basically just a symbol or an object that represents them? Surrogate tapping to ask for an apology. Yeah, yes, no. Surrogate tapping is tapping for another person. Which basically is a little bit problematic if you don't have their okay to do so. First and foremost, it's an ethical thing. Also, it's kind of avoiding dealing with your own emotions because you're kind of projecting onto that other person. So you can do that, but I still invite you to stick with being yourself, tapping for yourself and your situation right here and now. Talk to the young girl in her, in your abuser. You can do that, but that's not part of the class today, but generally, yes, possible. I recommend that basically after you've gone through the tapping, through the before the event tapping, and maybe 1 or 2 layers of how you felt afterwards. Because otherwise, if you're still in the heat, in the middle of it all, it still feels like bypassing your own emotions a little bit. It's kind of like, you know, I don't want to feel my own emotions. Oh, so I'll just talk to the little girl in my mother or so. It's kind of sneaking around the thing you actually need to work on. All right, tune back into your situation. Angry at my current self. Yeah, okay. Take a note about that. That would be something definitely worth tapping on, but we'll progress dealing with our abusers. So see them in front of you and check back in the intensity of your emotion, whatever it was, if it was dread, fear, powerlessness, helplessness, and you had a number beforehand, check back in. How strong is it now? Is it still the same? Is it less? Is it more? And it's pretty normal that the intensity can go up in the beginning because we have been suppressing this memory for so long, and now we're actually looking at it and stepping into it. Still an 8. Okay, good. Right. Whatever it is for you. And I want you to bring one hand to the power center that is on your belly, kind of just above your belly button. And can you gather all your energy there? This is our power center. And you keep tapping with the other hand. And from that power center, can you say, stop, no, back off? And you might notice your voice gets lower, deeper when you do that, as opposed to talking from your head. When I say, stop, 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 go away, no, 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 go away, is different than stop, go away. Can you hear the difference? That was a little bit exaggerated, but see if you can get into that low, grounded voice. And it can help feeling your feet on the ground and your butt on the chair. And yeah, back off. I don't allow this. Stop now. No means no. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touching me. Don't you dare to look at me. Back off. Get away. And say anything else that you need to tell them to scare them off. And if you have your anger toy, your pillow or rolled up blanket, and you actually want to imagine punching them or kicking them, I like to smash my pillow on my knee, or you can pull your knee up into your pillow as you imagine defending yourself. That's a good option. Do you want to beat them up? Do you want to kick them in the nuts? Do you want to slap their face? Do you want to take them, shake them? Do you want to punch them? You can put the pillow on your lip and go, oh, and make some noises. Just get away from me. Just. What does your body want to do? How does your body want to defend itself? Do you maybe want to kick? Do you want to bite? I've been biting at some point in my pillowcase, like, oh. You can imagine biting them an ear off or other body parts. What does your body want to do? Oh, let it out. Maybe you want to punch. Oh. You can also try taking both of your hands and pushing out in front of you, like you're pushing them away. Just get away. Get away. Off of me. Go, go, go. Oh. And the more energy you can give it, just imagine like you're being on a stage and you're acting in a drama. There you would make like everything more exaggerated, right? So that your audience can see it. The more drama you can give it, the more energy you can put into it, the faster things clear. Do you maybe need to stomp your feet? Do you want to knee them in the balls? You want to hit them on top of the head? Do you want to choke them? You can take your pillow and go like that. Good. Okay. And then you might notice when you do the anger work, there's a point where you run out of steam. At that point, just come back to tapping and breathing. So if you're still in the middle of it and you're getting stuff out, keep going. If you need to take a breather, just tap and breathe. Feel your feet on the floor. Your butt on the chair, the back of your legs. Feel your breath. How deep or shallow is it? How fast or slowly are you breathing? Good. All right. And then let's take a break, shake it out. Unless if you're still in the middle of it, of course you can keep going. Stretch, move around, look around your room. Where are you? Too violent, these descriptions. So what I'm saying is too much? Okay. Sorry for that. If you feel like triggered by that, just tapping and breathing is okay. We are often conditioned not to express anger and not to use swear words, and that is okay. But basically, as we are tapping, we kind of layer by layer shaving off the inhibitions, because it's important to kind of get to this anger. And whether you use strong language with it, or you just do the physical part, beating up your pillow, or you just make noises like grunting, like or screaming. If you feel like screaming, you can take your pillow and scream into your pillow. It is important to eventually work up to that level of anger to get it out. However, if you're not there yet, this is absolutely okay. If you feel triggered by what I'm saying, I would suggest you just tap and breathe and feel your feet while you're listening. And you notice they're getting triggered and let kind of that heat run through you. Yeah, just making gestures, strongly talking with hand and feet is okay too. You don't have to use words, but that can help. And if you feel like you don't want to hit your pillow, maybe just the shaking vigorously, just like, oh, might help. That's a good one to get into getting that anger out. Also, if you have trouble getting into the anger work, there is a technique called tap and bitch, which is basically what it sounds like. It means you imagine calling your best friend and you start complaining and bitching about whatever's going on while you're tapping. So that is kind of anger work light, and it can help to get the foot in the door and get used to the complaining and allowing yourself to express anger and being frustrated. And if even that is difficult, you can start with little things that annoy you during everyday lives. It's like, oh my God, the bus was late today and I was totally annoyed, and it was raining and it was cold and I was soaking wet when I came home, and it just is like, that would be bitching about something that doesn't involve a person, but it kind of serves as training wheels. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and I see a hand up. Brooke, go ahead, unmute yourself, please.
Thank you. One of the things that I keep struggling with is the reality of all the negative messages and critiquing I've done of myself. Is that a body boundary violation, or is that something different?
It's kind of, you mean your inner critical voice that you tell yourself, oh my God, I should have thought
I don't like,
that,
I don't want to look in the mirror anymore.
Or,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm fat, you're ugly, I'm this, I'm that. That is a little bit a different technique. We call this the inner critic. That is basically where we internalize the critical voice that usually was applied to us when we were younger. So often that voice sounds pretty much like one of our authority figures, and we probably say the same things that our parents said to us, or said to themselves, or said to each other, or bullies said to us. We repeat that in our minds. That's a little bit different. You can tap on that by basically tapping and giving that a voice. Just say everything out loud that you hear yourself say to yourself. And you can either freestyle it, or you can use the journal and tap, meaning writing it out, journaling it out, then rating whatever statements you have 0 to 10, and then read that back to you as you tap. But that's basically a little bit out of the scope of this call. That's more a self-sabotage technique. So I'll leave it at that. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful.
Okay. Yeah, it gets easier to articulate the anger. Usually it takes a while to get used to it. That's perfectly normal. All right. Okay. I hope that was helpful. Let's tune back in. Just tap and breathe for a moment. Good questions, ladies. If you have more questions, I'll check back in with you at the end, but I want to get through the tapping so that we finish that on time. I do have a couple more minutes past the hour if there's anything urgent you want to ask. So I would like to keep it for then. And for a moment, tune into your body. Feel your feet, feel your butt on the chair, feel your breath. And then go back to your scene, to your memory. And see your offender in front of you. And notice how intense is your emotion, the original one you had. And did that emotion maybe switch? We had a few that went maybe from hopeless or fear to anger. And that's a good one, because anger is basically the call to defend ourselves. Anger is telling us something wasn't right and we deserve better. 10 to 7 to 3, good work. All right. And when your number has come down, you can bring your offender closer. They're still frozen, so they still can't talk and move, but you can bring them a little closer to basically up the intensity a little bit. See how close you can bring them. That still feels a-okay-ish. And let's do one more round. In your own words, what do you want to tell them? You want to tell them, no, don't hit me. You have no permission to treat me this way. And you can also include now how that made you feel. You can say, when you hit me like that, you make me feel completely helpless and powerless, and that is not okay. Still an 8, but sad and exhausted about it. So that sounds like the emotion has changed from whatever it was before to sadness. That's also a good sign. Sadness is usually one of the later emotions. We usually go from feeling fearful, helpless, powerless. Then we have to go through the anger to process it all. And then as we come down from the anger, on the other side, there's often sadness or grief. It can be the other way around, that sadness comes before anger, especially if we feel like anger isn't safe to feel. We often mask it with sadness, so it could be switched, but they usually go together. All right, what do you need to tell your offender? Tell them off, tell them what you did was not okay. I did not deserve that. What you did was wrong. Just back off, go away, leave me alone. And if you still have anger, grab your pillow, get it out. What does your body want to do? Do you want to push? Do you want to hit? Do you want to kick? Also, there's an option. Maybe your body wanted to run away. If you feel like you wanted to run away, and you can do this sitting on the chair, basically just run with your feet while you're sitting. You can try that, and you can take your arms into it. I mean, you only see my arms like you're running. And you can kind of run in place, or even just lift your heels and imagine yourself running away. Tune into your body. If you feel like more defending yourself, that's more anger, more attack, or if you feel like running away, and do whatever your body suggests of the two. Okay, anger went from 10 to a 1, but still feel ashamed. Yeah, that is very, very common. That would be the working after the event, which we do in another session. You can tap on that by yourself, by basically expressing your shame. As for now, if there's still a little bit of anger left, yeah, get it out. Grab your pillow, one last round. With anger, it's important we get it all out. If you need to stomp the floor, shake, punch, scream, bite, hit. If you still need to run away, anything else you need to get out. You kind of know you're done when you get really, really tired. And for me, I usually feel very heavy and grounded afterwards. And yeah, the shame is a big one. Oh, is it normal to just stop tapping? Does it feel like you're all tapped out and you're exhausted and you're kind of done? Yeah, then stop the tapping. Yeah. That is pretty common. So I usually feel like I could just keel over sideways and take a nap after a big anger session. That's pretty normal. That's a good sign, actually. That means you got it out of your system. Okay. You made it to 1. Good. Okay. So then I want you to imagine your offender, and in your mind, finish them off. You can do anything you like. We have fairy tale physics at our fingertips, so imagine making it into a good action movie. So, do you want to beat them up? Do you want to stomp them into the ground? Do you want to set them on fire? Do you want to bring in a flying dragon that swallows them whole after barbecuing them with their fire breath? Do you want to feed them to the sharks? Do you want to get a big sword and cut certain body parts off? Do you want to electroshock them? Whatever you need to do. Of course, only in your imagination, not in real life. You can take your sweet revenge. What do you need to do? What do you want to do? So they can't do that to you or anyone anymore. Make it vivid. Make it a good movie. Imagine it in all the gory details, and you don't have to say anything. What you're imagining, that's just for you and your mind. Nobody will ever know. Just want them away, okay. You could just shoot them, put them in a rocket ship and shoot them past the moon. You can fling them out of the universe. Maybe you need the police to come and pick them up. Maybe there's a pile of ashes left and you need to get a broom and sweep it all up and then drop it in the dustbin. Get creative with it. Your mind knows what the appropriate ways are to just get rid of them completely. Yes, you can send them to the healing center. That is always a good option. If you feel like you want to do that, you can. We don't have enough time that I lead you through this right now, but basically you can send them to a healing center that is at the outer edge of the universe where they get healing. You can imagine them tapping and talking about anything that made them the way they are and that made them do whatever they did. And you can even have them do anger work and send them to a rage room. If they need to get rid of anger, you can send them to school where they learn how to behave properly. If you feel like, I guess we are doing the healing center right now. But if you feel like you're not ready to get help for your offender, you can also send them to boot camp where they basically have to experience what you went through, what they did to you. So maybe they'll learn and understand. So your option, if you want to get them help, send them to the healing center where they tap and get some healing, and you can send them guardian angels and anything they need to heal as well. And if you feel like they need to be punished or they need a lesson, you can send them to boot camp or to jail and have them go through and experience all the emotions you had to go through in their own body firsthand. And also here, make this like a vivid movie. And if you feel like, yeah, let's leave them there for now. Your choice if you want to bring them back after healing center when they learned their lesson and they want to apologize, you can. But sometimes, often, when you're just starting out on that journey, you might not be ready for that. You can just leave them in boot camp or in the healing center with a one-way ticket so they don't come back. Boot camp worked. Good. Awesome. Yeah. Excellent. Good. So wherever they are, leave them wherever they are, far, far away. The universe is taking care of them. They get whatever they need and what they deserve. Yeah, there's recognition that they might have gone through similar things. They might have been victimized, which turned them into an offender. Yeah, absolutely. That is often the case. Well, that's a good thing to work on in the healing center, where you basically see them tap on all that happened to them. Yeah. That recognition, yeah. When that really comes from the heart, that's great healing. I mean, often we know logically up here, but it doesn't feel like it right here in the heart, right? when we clear all those events and the trauma that's in us, basically that comes up naturally, that we're like, oh, maybe they're just some poor sucker. Yeah. Apology helped. Good. Good. All right. So send them away into outer space, whatever. Oh, shake it out. Blah. Yeah, the healing center is a beautiful thing. When's the next session? I think it's first Monday, I believe, in the evening US time. 7 p.m.ish? I'm not quite sure, because for me it's in the middle of the night. I'm in Germany. But you should have all the dates in your membership area under my tapping circle. It's first Monday, second Wednesday, third Monday, fourth Wednesday of each month. And the Wednesdays are lunchtime in the US and the Mondays are evening in the US. All right. Take a breath, feel your feet on the floor and your butt on the chair one more time, and you can look around your room for a moment. Let's see if you need a shake, if you need some water, tea, whatever you have. And then start tapping again and see your younger self in front of you and take her to a safe space. Yeah, you can go in and talk to your younger self as your adult self. Yes, that is a great technique too. Those are all kind of building blocks you can combine. I don't have time to go through talking to your younger self right now, but this is a good one you can do, you can add on. For now, yeah, get your little one, your younger self, or your maybe only a little bit younger self to a safe place, and that can be a real place or an imaginary place. And feel free to repeat after me or use your own words. We're in a safe place now. It's safe to release and let this go. I give myself permission to release and let this go. It's safe for my body to release and let this go. Releasing it from every cell in my body, from my mind, my heart, and my spirit. I am stronger. I am wiser. And I can keep myself safe now. I am safe now. Good. Shake it out one more time. And I like to close with a round of so-called alternate temple tapping. So for this, you take your two hands and you place your face in your hands. So if you have a table in front of you, you can rest your elbows there. And it's basically, I'm with my fingertips on my temples. And you can, if you want, put your thumb behind your ear, behind your earlobe. There's a little dip you can plug in there, or you can keep your thumb in front of the ear. But behind the ear, right there is another acupressure point that's really helpful. And for a moment, you can just rest your face and feel your hands on your face and see if that feels good. And then I invite you to Start tapping, alternating with the right fingers and the left fingers, so that you gently tap with all the fingers on your temples. And if you can make this a slow tap, as you feel your body on the chair, on the sofa. Notice if you feel a little bit heavier, maybe more grounded than you did before. Can you feel your feet? Notice your breath. Is it maybe a little bit slower than before? Is it deeper? Is it more shallow? Is it faster? Is it cooler? Is it warmer? Just notice. And notice the energy in your body. Is it still running in circles, or is it more like, oh, slow down? When I'm all tapped out, yeah, I feel like I'm ready to take a nap. And I feel very heavy and grounded. But that might be different for you. I just want you to notice. And slower tapping is actually more calming than faster tapping, but of course go at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. Good. And then pause the tapping, just rest your face in your hands. Feel the warmth of your hands on your skin. And maybe you feel like rocking a little bit. And whenever you're ready, release your hands and open your eyes if you had them closed. And welcome back, ladies. How are you doing? Feel free to share in the chat. We are at the top of the hour, so if you need to go, I totally understand. However, I have a couple more minutes. If there are any questions, go ahead. Yes, the meeting is recorded. It usually takes a few days until it pops up. Go into the app or into the membership area on the website, and there is My Tapping Circle is the main program, and under there you have the Tapping Circle archive, and it's grouped by years, so you have 2025 and 2024, and it'll pop up there. So yeah, you can absolutely come back, tap to this call again at any time. Or you can dive into the archives and find many other calls from the past. Feeling light, tired and peaceful. Good, so much better. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your kind words, ladies, that you did the work. Okay, I see Tracy. You have a question? Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Do you have a recommendation on what technique I should use to work on the anger that I felt towards my younger self for not getting out of the situation sooner?
Yes, that basically is the anger work. Right now we did it against the perpetrators. So we basically told them off and said, hey, how could you do this? This wasn't okay. And we beat them up. You can do this with your younger self too. How you do this is you basically you imagine your younger self in front of you and you talk directly to her. This is a way of separating ourselves a little bit, basically splitting ourselves into our younger selves and our present day self. And getting angry at the younger self is a little bit easier this way than when you get angry at yourself in the here and now. Oh. However, try whatever makes most sense to you. Some people have an easier time getting angry at themselves, directing it inwards. Others find it easier to imagine the younger self in front of them and getting the anger out. And you can throw a tantrum. You can tell them if you can say, how stupid were you to not get out of that situation? You should have known better. Why didn't you run? Why did you even talk to that person? I should have, could have, would have, whatever. Yeah. I should have known better. I feel stupid.
After that, how do you move towards that forgiving yourself?
Yeah, but you need to get the anger out first.
Okay.
So once you've gone through the anger and you're all tapped out on the anger, it might happen in the same session or a separate one. It depends on how toast you are after you're done with the
Okay.
anger, to be honest. If you feel like taking a nap, don't force it. But if you feel like talking to your younger self after that, you can. There is usually a natural kind of inflection point where the anger subsides, where naturally the feeling comes up, oh my God, you did the best you could and it wasn't your fault. So
Okay.
you're basically waiting until this naturally comes up, and that gives you the reframe. So reframe is basically turning from the negative towards the positive, and you can script that. But if we clear the negative out, the positive usually automatically comes bubbling up. That you're like, oh my
Okay.
God, I'm not angry anymore, but I feel so sorry for my younger self, and I know you did the best you could, and it wasn't your fault. And you talk to her and
Okay.
tell her everything she needs to know. And hopefully at some point you'll be able to forgive her and like recognize that she did the best she could and that it wasn't her fault. And maybe you're ready to give her a hug at that point. But yeah, the anger needs to come out first. You
Thank
try
you.
to avoid the anger, which is a natural thing because it's not the most fun thing to do, to feel it and process it like we do. And I still am like, oh, I don't want to get angry again, even though I've been doing this for quite a while. But there's still this resistance, like, oh, not yet again. It's like, okay, I better do it. I know I feel better afterwards. Yeah, basically, after the anger, it comes naturally. Okay, now I have Nicole. Go ahead.
Hi. I started finding it very difficult as you were, describing what you could do to people.
Mhm.
I have a really vivid imagination, and I can't stand horror. And so you were tripping me right out because I couldn't
Oh,
keep where I was because I was getting a different thing. So I just had to keep not looking and just sort of taking myself out of it completely. Now,
okay.
I do
Yeah.
understand that, you can get angry. I just, like the physical side and the description really disturbed me a lot.
Yeah. I'm sorry that triggered you so much. What you can do, basically the strength of the words was what set you off, or just getting angry at all?
No, it was the visual,
What popped into your head, what your
when you
mind
said
wanted to
like
do?
cut out body parts and stuff like that, it was just so, it just went to a different level of gruesome for me. And even the lighter things that you said, even kicking somebody, I'm just not, I don't like it. I don't like it, but I don't, but it just really tripped. And I know that part of it is because when I was babysat, when I was younger, my auntie used to watch horror films and I was on the sofa and she'd say, stop looking, stop looking.
Oh,
So
absolutely, yeah.
I just can't stand violence. So
I hear you. I totally understand. Okay, I mean, at some point we want to get to the point where we can get angry and also express it through our body. If it helps you to not imagine directing that anger at someone, but more into your pillow.
Can I sort of take that anger and push? I think I do have a problem with being angry because I can snap and I do shout. And as soon as I've shouted and snapped or whatever, I think,
okay,
there's a better way of doing that. So I know I've got an issue with being angry myself, and I've watched people row and scream and fight, and it scared me.
Yeah, I mean, if you have experienced violence when you were younger, especially, that might be triggering. And also, it usually goes one of two ways. Either our parents or caregivers were violent and part of us says, oh, I don't want to be like them. This isn't safe. This is dangerous. I don't want to do it. And there might be also fear that once I start, I can't stop myself. I'll just destroy everything and everyone in my path. That's one side. The other side is that we might have been taught that being angry is not okay and that you shouldn't show any sign of anger whatsoever. So this is basically when you were angry as a kid and your parents sent you to your room and said, oh, don't come out until you calm down, kind of scenario. We can tap on the resistance to anger work. And you do this by answering the question, I'm not allowed to get angry because, and that's a good one to journal out. You can make bullet points. I'm not allowed to be angry or show anger because is one thing. And the second one, it's not safe to get angry because. And you can tap while you tune in because sometimes it's just a subconscious feeling somewhere in our body that we can't even articulate in the beginning. I feel like you're doing a really good job already finding the, oh, it doesn't feel safe because there was this horror movie thing where the horror movie scene might be an echo tapping you can do to clear that out in addition. And yeah, basically when you tune into those questions and just keep writing, it's not, I'm not allowed to get angry because, it's not safe to get angry because, and then you write this all out. You rate, you can rate the whole package or each statement on a scale from 0 to 10. And then you take whatever you journaled out and you tap while you read it.
I think it's the violence.
Yeah.
It's the definite violence that I can't, I don't want my brain to think it. So whatever that is, I don't want to think those thoughts. I don't want to.
You can add, I'm afraid to get angry because.
Yeah. Pardon?
You can also add, I'm afraid to get angry because.
Okay.
And then also you can, another question you can ask yourself is, what bad thing would happen if I get angry? Usually it's, they get even angrier and they punish me or they don't love me anymore. This usually has to do with the interactions with our caregivers when we were young. And so basically there you have a couple of questions you can work through. And this might be more than one session and you might need to go back to it.
Thank you. And I recognize something because when my son would get annoyed and shout or raise his voice or bang his fist, straight away I'd be like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So there is something there because I can't handle those displays.
Yeah. The anger work is really hard for most of us because most of us have one or the other resistance that we feel like we can't, it's too scary, we're not allowed, we're afraid to do it. But it's what usually gives you the biggest bang for your buck.
Thank you, T.
So start tapping on the resistance, and then, as I said at some point earlier, can you start small? You don't have to do a full anger work session with screaming and beating up your pillow. Can you find something you're slightly annoyed at and use the tap and bitch, which is basically just sitting there. Imagine talking to my friend is like, oh my God, the bus was late and I got soaking wet when it was raining and it was so annoying and now I'm all cold and it just pisses me off. And you know what? And at the grocery store, they didn't have my favorite meal and the package that was supposed to be delivered today, it was rerouted and now I can't get it for the next 3 days. Find some little things like that and just tap and bitch it out. That's also a good one after you work on the resistance to kind of get your feet wet. And then from there
there's obviously a block. Even that, my brain's going, it's got a little comment going, oh no, you know, so there's definitely some resistance.
Write the comment out. That's exactly what you then journal out and you tap on. And I feel like you tapped into your why, and we just need to get it out.
Thank you so much.
And it's a process. I mean, I'm not expecting you to jump into a full anger session the first time you try it. I do coach it because I hope it's easier for you guys to do it when I'm leading you and basically in the container of the session, because Yeah, it can go both ways. For me, in the beginning, I didn't like to do anger work when anybody else was watching, even my coach. So I prefer to do it by myself. Also because I was a little afraid that my computer would go flying. And yeah, okay. But now I kind of got used to it, and I do it with my buddy quite often, actually. It needs some getting used to. Start small, look at your resistance, and you're doing a great job. And everybody else, it's not an easy thing you're doing here, and I absolutely recognize that. I'm on this journey too with you guys, and I hope being here makes it a little bit easier when I can take your hand. And yeah, any other questions? I could do one more if we have. If not, okay. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you working so hard on yourself. I appreciate you sharing your energy, your questions, your numbers. I feel like this is a healing container, and the group energy definitely contributes to it. I hope you find that helpful too. And then I'll let you go, and I'll see you soon in the next call. I know it's the first Monday of the month. The time, go check it. I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I'll see you soon. Bye, ladies.